The new Superman movie comes out on July 11, which means I have 50 days until I get to see the new movie in theaters. I'm challenging myself to review one figure from my massive Superman collection every single day for the next 50 days until I get to see the new movie. Follow for your daily dose of Superman content.
Up and away.
This is day one of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out. Today we're doing the DC Icon Superman. Everything about this figure is just a little bit weird. His head sculpt looks okay but kinda off, his body looks a little bit segmented, and the plastic feels good but also like it could break at any time. He comes with one set of relaxed hands.
You got me.
He also comes with Colllection, not to be confused with the robots from the movie, and this is a really nice accessory. It might look like he has a lot of articulation, but you actually can't get much range out of the joints. Also, his torso feels like it could crack apart at any point, and he has no thigh swivel. He's technically 1/12 scale, but he's actually smaller than most figures. Overall, I definitely would not recommend this guy unless you're a big Superman fan or unless you wanted the robot like me. He doesn't pose around too great, he's a little bit too small for most figures, and he's overall just not too much fun. Follow to see the next 49 days. Up and away. This is day 2 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out. Today we're doing the DC Direct Silver Age 2-pack Superman. This guy came out in 2001, so I got him loose and I don't have Lois or any of the accessories, but it's still a really good figure. His head sculpt doesn't look too accurate to Kurt Swan, who was the artist during most of the Silver Age, but I still think it's passable. Even though the face isn't fully accurate, the body proportions, the sculpt, and the paint really give this figure a lot of charm in my opinion. It's really unique. Like I said, I got this guy loose, so I don't have Lois, the display base, the alternate cape, or the alternate hands that come with this guy. For 2001, the articulation is actually really good, especially when you consider this is before the super articulated action figure craze started. He doesn't have a lot, but he definitely has enough to get him into some classic Superman poses. He actually scales pretty well when you put him up to some modern figures. He's almost Marvel Legends scale. Overall, I would not recommend this to be your only Superman figure in your collection, but he has a lot of charm and a lot of whimsy to him. He really is a time capsule of the era. It's incredible how good this figure holds up for being from almost 25 years ago. Follow to see the next 48 days.
Up and away.
This is day 3 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out. Today we're doing the McFarland Toys DC Multiverse Superman figure based off the Warworld Saga. The Warworld Saga was a comic line written by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Daniel Semper and Riccardo Federici. I'm not going to talk about it too much here, but this is one of my favorite Superman comics of all time. As for the figure, I don't like the side-eye he's got going on, but other than that, the sculpt is pretty solid. I do wish his muscles were a little bit more defined, but he's got good mass on him at least, and the proportions aren't too off. Though I do wish we got a figure based off his look at the end of the comic, because that costume is so sick. He comes with a shield and an axe, and that's it. His articulation is actually pretty good. I know people love to complain about McFarland's articulation, but even his torso and his thighs move well enough out of the package that I don't really feel the need to modify them. He's pretty average scaled for a McFarland figure. Also, I wanted to see what my custom bearded Superman would look like on it. It was pretty cool. Before you buy this figure, I would recommend reading the comic. And once you read the comic, I'm sure you're gonna want this figure. So my advice, read the comic, buy the figure, and be happy. Even with the caveats like the eye paint, I think this figure is solid enough to be a representation of this comic in your display. Follow to see the next 47 days. Up and away. This is day 4 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out. Today we're gonna have to go past the comic shelf and up the movie shelf because we're reviewing the Mattel Split Cycle Superman from 2013. Obviously this guy is tiny and also a kid's toy from 2013, so the likeness sucks, but the rest of the sculpt is actually pretty decent for being so cheap and so tiny. Pretty well textured, the musculature is super exaggerated, but what is sculpted looks pretty good, not gonna lie. This guy comes with a motorcycle, but it's not for riding, it's actually to be split apart, because he wants Superman to willingly split apart a motorcycle because he's a terrorist. His articulation is literally a matter of what you see is what you get. They are what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of articulation on this guy. Obviously he's smaller than the other figures I've reviewed, but he's also even smaller for a lot of 1/18 scale figures. I honestly don't have much to say. This is obviously the weirdest figure I've reviewed so far, but it's gonna get a lot weirder as the days go on. So you might as well follow to see the next 46 days. Up and away. This is day 5 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out. Today we're reviewing the DC Multiverse Collector's Edition First Appearance Superman. Superman first debuted in 1938 in Action Comics #1. I'm gonna get this out of the way immediately. I replaced the rubber cape on my figure with a cloth cape, which kinda sucks, but it's okay. I know this head sculpt is a fan favorite in the community, but honestly, I don't think it's that accurate to the original issue. I think the face is a little bit too fat, but it still looks okay. The real offender is these lines all over the body because it reuses a modern body. Also, he's $30 and literally only has one accessory, which are these chains, which is nice. But $30 and only one fisted hand? I had to outsource this fist hand from another figure. The articulation is exactly what you'd expect from McFarland. It's not the best, but it's good enough for what the poses you want to get the figure into. And he's about average scale for a McFarland figure. Overall, it was a pretty disappointing release back then, and it's still pretty disappointing a year and a half later. It's really nice having a first appearance Superman figure, but if everything were just 10 to 15% better, I'd be a lot happier. Anyway, follow to see the next 45 days. Up and away. This is day 6 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out. And I'm gonna be honest guys, I'm getting kind of bored of Superman, so today we're going Bizarro mode. Before I say anything else, I'd like you guys to know that I extended his torso because of articulation reasons. This is really accurate to the art by Ed McGuinness, which this figure is based off. I really like the sculpt and especially these colors. They're weirdly really pretty for being a Bizarro figure. Also, he's got the logo on the cape, which is nice. He came in a 2-pack with Bad Bizarro, but this figure sucks. He also comes with this diorama thing and hands. And he also comes with a necklace, which I couldn't find in my drawer. His articulation is pretty standard for McFarland, except for his torso, which is especially bad, so that's why I had to modify it like I showed you in the beginning. He's also average scaled for McFarland, of course. Overall, a really enjoyable figure. I'm surprised how much I like this guy because I'm not a huge Ed McGuinness fan, but this figure really won me over. I don't know, I guess he's just fun to put in a bunch of random poses, especially with how weird and stylized he looks. I don't know, pretty fun. As always, follow to see the next 44 days. Up and away, or should I say down, down, and forward. This is day 7 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out. And today we're going to be reviewing probably the most worthless toy in this entire series, the McDonald's 2011 Young Justice Superman toy. But don't be mistaken, just because this is a McDonald's toy does not mean I'm going to hold back any punches. The head sculpt is pretty accurate, but the body, are you kidding me? He never looked this buff in the entire show. I am insanely disappointed with McDonald's for this. And they didn't even bother to paint the red belt loops. Are you kidding me? At least he has this action feature, which is fun. I mean, there's really not much to comment about this. It's just, he can move his arms back and forth. His articulation is really limited. He only has head movement and his arms can move, obviously, because of the action feature. This guy is really small, obviously. I mean, he kind of fits with 1/18 scale figures, I guess. Sometimes I can't tell if I'm happy, sad, or just plain sleepy or hungry, but that's okay. When trying to navigate yourself in the world, it can feel like you're flailing your arms in the water, just trying to reach the surface like this toy does. I think we all feel like this McDonald's toy sometimes. At face value, we seem purposeless. But just like how this toy I got when I was 5 years old has a place in my collection, you have a place in the world too. I read a fortune cookie one time that told me I was destined for greatness. And I think you are too. I love this toy. I gave it a 2 out of 10. Anyway, follow to see the next 43 days. Up and away! This is day 8 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out. Today we're doing a very important one in McFarland Toys history, McFarland's Infected Superman. This figure came out in the collect-to-build Merciless wave and it was a huge deal at the time because it was a completely new mold. Sure, today it's been used to death, but a lot of people at the time, me included, really wanted more figures on this body. While the body might not hold up to today's standards, the head sculpt is still really nice. The detail is really crisp and I even repainted my own original copy at the time. There's even paint shading on this thing, and honestly, as weird as the proportions may be, I think it kind of works for this version of Superman. Aside from the collect-to-build piece, he also has 2 fisted hands. The articulation on this guy has always been mid. There's not a lot of range in his joints, and he's really just not that fun to pose around, even at the time. This guy has always been just kind of mildly small for McFarland figures. In my opinion, this guy is and will always be the best use of this mold in the McFarland Toys line. They can reuse it, repaint it, rehash it, but at the end of the day, nothing beats the original. Like I said, they reuse this body a bunch, so be prepared to see this body over and over again in this series. If you want to see those figures, I guess you're just gonna have to follow to see the next 42 days. Up and away! This is day 9 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out on July 11th. Today we're doing another weird one, the Mattel Man of Steel Wrecking Ball Superman. And you might be thinking, hey, didn't you already review this? Well, that one was blue and this one's red, okay? Get over yourself. They obviously just made him red because it's, you know, for kids, but I don't know, maybe someone at the office that day was reading some Silver Age comic. He also has an armored right arm, which is cool, I guess. He also came with a wrecking ball, which I lost because I was 7. His articulation is exactly the same as the blue one. There's only 7 points. Obviously, he's also the same size as the blue one. I honestly cannot give this a critical review other than just like, I like his shiny red arm because it's shiny and that tickles my brain, I guess. I know this is kind of a lame video for today, but I'm planning to post a bonus video either today or tomorrow, so look forward to that. Anyway, follow to see the next 41 days. Up and away! This is day 9.5 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie. Today we're going past the comic shelf, past the movie shelf, and even past my customizing shelf. That's right, we're not even reviewing a figure today. We're reviewing the new Dairy Queen Blizzard. Dairy Queen just released this new Superman flavored Blizzard. It's actually cookie dough and birthday cake. You can see the cup here has pretty nice detail.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, I had to clean that up. Anyway, the packaging, or what am I saying? The cup has pretty nice detail. Nice little promo picture of him and a picture of the DC logo and the Superman logo, and also a QR code here, and I have no idea what that leads to. Without further ado, let's do a little taste test. Pretty good. I like birthday cake and cookie dough, so it was right up my alley. Anyway, follow to see the next 40.5 days. I'm up and away. This is day 10 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out on July 11th. Since we're officially 10 episodes into the series, I figured we'd do a special Superman figure, based on his first on-screen appearance in 1941's Max Fleischer Studios Superman cartoon. I believe this figure is based off this one specific panel from the cartoon because his logo looks different for the rest of the show. That doesn't take away from my enjoyment of this figure at all though, because I love this head sculpt. I know a lot of people like swapping this guy's head, but personally I'm not a big fan of the swap. Even though this figure is an entirely reused body, that doesn't take away from any of the amazing details about it. Plus, the cloth cape with a wire is the cherry on top. His only accessories are the set of open hands. Again, his articulation is exactly what you'd expect from McFarland. It's serviceable. And of course, he scales perfectly with your other McFarland toys. Honestly, off memory, this might be my favorite thing I've reviewed in the series so far, except for maybe like the Dairy Queen Blizzard or something. He's super fun to play around with, and he's just super aesthetically pleasing. I honestly love it. Anyway, follow to see the next 40 days. Up and away. This is day 11 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out on July 11th. Today's a very special video because I'm reviewing the McFarland DC Multiverse Superman. Today I'm only going to be reviewing the regular release. First off, I have to warn you guys that there is paint rub on his neck, and also the plastic on his torso starts stressing whenever you move it. His head sculpt is decent, the paint isn't too great, but comparing it with the Spin Master figure which I repainted, I think it's pretty good. The suit detailing is nice, the colors are a little off, but I really like the S on his cape. This guy does not come with a set of fisted hands, which is very frustrating. But the good news is that you can swap him with the Action Comics 1000 hands. Even for McFarland, this guy's articulation is borderline terrible. You can barely move his head up, his torso moves even less than normal for McFarland, and he's just really not that fun to play around with unless you modify him. This guy is also totally underscaled. David Cornsweat is the same height as Christopher Reeve and way taller than Henry Cavill, but this figure is shorter than both. He looks good next to Batman though. Yes, I'm very excited for this movie, but I can honestly say that I am very disappointed with this figure. Good thing I'm a customizer because I can fix this guy to my own enjoyment, but it's still rough, man. Anyway, follow to see the next 39 days. Up and away. This is day 12 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out. I'm gonna be honest guys, I have a longer video that I'm trying to edit right now, so let's do a smaller figure today. I have no idea how this figure came into my collection, and it was really hard to find information about this specific toy because there's another Burger King toy from the 90s that looks very similar to this, but I eventually found out it was from 2003's Justice League Adventures toy line. Each toy in this line came with a gimmick and a little tiny comic. All things considered, the sculpt on this little toy is actually pretty good. It looks a lot like the cartoon. He came with this little asteroid thingy that he was supposed to balance on, which means his belt is magnetic. He doesn't technically have articulation, but if you try hard enough, you can push his arms down and they make a nice noise. Unfortunately, this guy does not scale with McFarland toys, or any toys for that matter. I said it before and I'll say it again, I don't know how or why I have this. I was not alive when this came out. But it's nice, I guess. I mean, I'm not complaining. Anyway, follow to see the next 38 days. Up and away. This is day 13 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out. And today, we're not going to do a Clark Kent Superman. No, we're going to do John Kent Superman. I already know the comment section is going to be full of people complaining about this character. I don't really mind John Kent, but anyway, this is about the figure, not the character. This figure had a lot of quality control issues when it came out, especially the paint, which was sloppy, and the joints, but I'll get into that later. He came with 2 fisted hands, but I could not for the life of me find the second one, so one will do for this video. His articulation is definitely not... Whoa. This is where the quality control comes in. His bicep is literally glued so you can't move it, and one of his elbows literally cracked on me. But other than that, his articulation is relatively subpar for McFarland. His torso especially is bad. He scales pretty well for being He scales pretty well for being the adult version of Superman's son. Though I definitely like the character of John Kent. Yeah, fight me in the comments. Don't actually, please. The QC problems actually make this figure cursed. I'm at least glad I only got him for 10 bucks at Ross a few months ago. Anyway, follow to see the next 33 days. Up and away. This is day 14 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out. Today we're going to be reviewing a President Superman, but not Calvin Ellis. That's right, we're doing the Red Sun Superman. This is DC Direct's President Red Sun Superman from 2007. Being a DC Direct figure, that means the sculpt is amazing and the articulation is non-existent. But man, the sculpt and the detailing and paintwork is just fantastic. One of my favorite things about DC Direct figures is how flexible their capes are. Anyway, he comes with a nice display stand that says the character's name and the comic it came from. He also comes with Brainiac's head, which is really nice and has a cool translucent plastic. Theoretically, he's supposed to be able to hold Brainiac's head, but I can't get that to happen. Like I said, his articulation is pretty much non-existent, but I mean, it's alright. He's perfectly DC Direct scale, which means he's too small for McFarlane and too big for 6-inch figures. I really wish companies today were ballsy enough to give us the same artist-accurate, super comic booky figures that DC Direct gave us back in the day. Sure, he can't really pose or anything, but the detail and comic accuracy is off the charts. Anyway, follow to see the next 36 days. Up and away! This is day 15 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out. Today we're going to do a really fun one. This is the NECA Superman vs. Muhammad Ali Superman figure. And yes, this is based on an actual comic for those wondering. I will say immediately, I got this guy loose and relatively beat up, so I don't have any of his accessories and I had to replace the cape. I also would like to mention that I fully repainted his face. I don't really know why I did that. I kind of wanted to just see if I could make him smile, and I guess it looks fine. I don't know, I kind of like the original paint job a little more, I'm not going to lie. The rest of the figure has really good paint work, though I wouldn't necessarily call it cell shading because it's only one color, so I'd say it's more inking shading. The articulation is pretty good. At the time, this was pretty good for NECA, but nowadays NECA has a lot more articulation than this. He's a little bit underscaled for McFarland figures and a little bit overscaled for Marvel Legends. Overall, this guy is super fun to have. I definitely do want to pick up the entire set at some point because I do want the Muhammad Ali and also an uncustomized version of this figure, but either way, this figure is just great in my opinion. Anyway, follow to see the next 35 days. Up and away! This is day 16 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out on July 11th. And today we're going to be looking at a little bit different of a style of Superman. This is the electric blue Superman from McFarland's Plastic Man Collect-A-Build. I'm not a big 90s comic book fan, but I still really like this figure. The head sculpt, the colors, and the details while they're painted are done really cleanly and make this a very aesthetically pleasing figure. He comes with 4 of these little electric accessories, which are kind of cool, I guess. His articulation is surprisingly amazing. His head gets a ton of range, and so do his shoulders. The rest of it is just kind of standard, but the head and shoulders are especially great. He scales pretty standard for McFarland figures, and I wonder when I'm going to review that red Superman. Like I said before, I don't have a huge attachment to this version of the character, but this figure is just so well done, I can't help but love it. I don't know, something about the proportions, the clean paint apps, the colors, and everything just make this a really well-rounded figure. It's a lot of fun to pose around, and I forgot about how overall enjoyable this was until now. Anyway, if you want to see me complete the duo and review the red one, follow to see the next 34 days. Up and away! This is day 17 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out on July 11th. And today, we're getting out of my collection room. That's right, I'm on the run. Today, we're reviewing the brand new McFarland toy Strange Lives of Superman. Also, this is a real picture of my current location. This figure is based off Superman Annual number 3 from 1961. This is obviously a ridiculous figure, but even more ridiculous is that McFarland accidentally gave me 2 right forearms. Also, the colors on this figure are definitely way too dark. Outside of the 2 paw hands, he has 2 regular skin hands and 1 regular head sculpt. This is supposed to resemble the artwork from Kurt Swan, and I think it's kind of close, but not quite. It also comes with the head of the future Superman, which means he just has a big head. Of course, he has a wired cloth cape, and the articulation is kind of just standard. I've reviewed a couple figures with his body already. I don't have a lot of figures on hand, but he's average scale for McFarland. I remember a lot of collectors were clowning McFarland for making this figure, saying, "Who's gonna buy this?" Me. I'm the one who's gonna buy this. It's Superman with a lion head and a bunch of ridiculous accessories. It's awesome. I mean, come on. I'm upset that this guy's an exclusive who also has the wrong shade of blue and mine has 2 right forearms, but whatever. DC Direct definitely did this figure better back in the day anyway. Follow to see the next 33 days. Up and away! This is day 18 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out on July 11th. And today we're going to finish a trio of figures that I started off at the beginning of the series. This is the Mattel Krypton Combat Superman. This figure is part of the Man of Steel basic figures from 2013. Sure, this might have been a quote-unquote basic figure, but to my knowledge, this sculpt was an entirely brand new and unique mold for this toy line, which is surprising to me because why wouldn't they want to reuse this? It looks pretty cool. The armor looks really royal, and I'm kind of digging these colors in a weird way. He came with these 2 axe blade thingies, but I don't have him anymore. Just like the other 2 figures I reviewed, he only has 7 points of articulation. He's also about the exact same size as those 2 figures, even with the armor. And thus, the trifecta is complete. These are all 3 basic Mattel figures that I own. Like with the other 2, I don't have a lot of commentary to give about this guy. It was a kid's toy from 2013. The armor looks pretty cool. I am surprised they really did not have to go that hard with the design. I definitely miss when they would give toys just random designs that weren't based off anything specific. I don't know, it was a fun time. Anyway, follow to see the next 32 days. Up and away! This is day 19 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out on July 11th. And today, we're finishing off another set of figures. That's right, we're doing the Superman Red by McFarland. This figure is the platinum variant of the Superman Blue I reviewed on day 16. And my opinions are the exact same. I like the body a lot and I love the deco. But I honestly think I like the red even more than the blue. Of course, he came with the Plastic Man torso and the electric accessories, which I don't have right now. His articulation is exactly the same. His head and his shoulders move really well, and everything else is just kind of standard. He's also the exact same height as the electric blue Superman, of course, which means he's average height for McFarland. Also, believe it or not, but this isn't the last blue and red pair I have for the series. Just like with the electric blue Superman, I really like this figure. I think it's all just aesthetically, he looks really good. The colors are nice, the deco is clean, and the body proportions are really great. Again, just like with the electric blue Superman, I don't really particularly care for 90s comics, but this figure almost makes me care about them, so that's pretty cool. Make something colorful enough and give it nice proportions, and I guess I'll like it. Follow to see the next 31 days. Up and away! This is day 20 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out on July 11th, even though I got early tickets for July 8th. And today we're going to be looking at the DC Direct Smallville Clark Kent figure. This figure came out in 2001 and it definitely shows. And I love this packaging, and I even kept it even though I opened it up. The head sculpt is questionable. I can definitely see what they were trying to do when I look at the reference picture, but I don't know. But you gotta remember, it was 2001. Outside of these open hands, he comes with another pair of open hands, but he's poisoned. He's being poisoned by this kryptonite block which he comes with, which is pretty nice. He also has a backpack, but Clark only uses it on one arm since he's a cool kid. He only has 7 points of articulation, but none of that is leg movement. He's an early DC Direct figure, so he's somewhere between 6 and 7 inch figures. Also, can you believe that both of these figures came out in 2001? There's not much to note about this other than it's the first Smallville Clark Kent figure to come out, and also the easiest and cheapest to get because, well, I mean, look at it. But it's definitely one to have if you're a fan of the series or if you're a live-action Superman figure collector like I am. Anyway, he couldn't fly in the show, but follow to see the next 30 days. Up and away! This is day 21 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out on July 11th. And today's a very special video because we're exactly 1 month away from the release date. Well, less than a month if you're me and you have early access tickets. But today, to celebrate, we're going to be looking at some work-in-progress custom figures that I'm going to show off by the end of the series. Firstly, we got my repaint of the 6-inch Spin Master Superman. This guy's already got a video on my YouTube channel. Next up, we got my repaint of the 12-inch Spin Master Superman. I am super happy with how this head sculpt came out. The body is not finished yet, obviously you can tell here by the collar, but I'm really happy with how this guy's turning up. And here are the two next to each other just because it's fun. Next up, we got my custom McFarland repainted Superman figure. You can see here the body colors are completely different, even the logo. And not only that, he has no paint rub. And also, I redid his head sculpt. I think I made him a little bit green, but don't worry about it. I still think I like it a lot more than the original. The original is too tan anyway. Sure, this wasn't the normal video, but I just gotta say, I'm really thankful for all you guys for watching. I know we're not even halfway through, but this series has been a blast for me. Can't wait to show these guys off when they're finished, but for now, follow to see the next 29 days. Up and away! This is day 22 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out on July 11th. And today we have a relatively special one. This is McFarland's first ever Superman figure, the Action Comics 1000 figure from 2020. Sure, this figure is pretty old, but some things still hold up. I still really love this head sculpt, and the metallic red on the logo just really pop. The rest of the figure is still solid enough. I really like the colors, but the proportions, especially on his legs, are definitely a little bit off. And the ankles especially look really weird. He comes with 2 relaxed hands, 1 fisted hand, and 1 trigger hand. I guess Superman is back in Fortnite. The articulation on this guy is definitely not the figure's strong suit. It was kind of mediocre at best at the time, and it still is. The trunks being hard plastic really set this guy back. He was a bit too short at the time, and he's definitely still way too short now. I still think this is a solid release from McFarland for it being the first Superman figure they ever did, and the first wave of DC figures they ever did. Even though McFarland made a lot of Superman toys between 2020 and now, I think it was the general consensus that this guy was the best McFarland Superman figure until around last year or this year. Anyway, follow to see the next 28 days. Up and away! This is day 23 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out on July 11th. And today, I'm on the run again, so we're going to be doing something a little bit different. This is the Lego Superman keychain. This was actually a gift from my brother, and though it's not the classic Lego Superman design, I still really like it. Obviously, I wish he had colored boots, but I mean, it's a Lego figure, I can't really complain. He's even got the belt on the back, which is sometimes not the case for McFarland. He obviously doesn't come with anything except for this keychain if you count that as an accessory, but I don't really. Funnily enough, the articulation is actually better than some of the figures I reviewed recently, like the Smallville one. I don't have any figures to compare it with, so here it is with Burt's Bees chapstick. Not much to say about this one. It's a really small nitpick, but I do wish the hair had the curl on it like the classic Lego design, but also like, am I really going to complain about a Lego minifigure that was also a gift? Anyway, follow to see the next 27 days. Up and away! This is day 24 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out on July 11th. And today we're going to be looking at another Red Sun Superman figure. This is McFarland's Red Sun Superman from 2021. This figure is almost a complete reuse of the Action Comics 1000 figure I reviewed earlier. This time he has a different head sculpt. And I know this one's a fan favorite, and I do quite like it, but I think it's very specific for this version of the character, or other angry versions of Superman. Of course, he has a new resculpted logo with the sickle on it, and his cape is also different. It's not a cloth cape, but I still really like the way this looks. Just like the Action Comics 1000 figure, he has 2 relaxed hands, 1 fisted hand, and 1 trigger hand. Again, I don't understand why they gave Superman a gun holding hand, but you can do funny stuff like this, I guess. His articulation is also exactly the same as Action Comics 1000, meaning that it kind of sucks, but it was a staple of the time, I guess. He's about the exact same height as the Action Comics 1000 figure, which also means he's a little short. For someone who isn't super attached to this version of the character, I think they did a pretty solid job. The head sculpt is really nice, the body looks good enough, and the colors are pretty good. The logo and the head sculpt are probably the 2 best things about this figure. They're well sculpted and painted. Follow to see the next 26 days. Up and away! This is day 25 out of 50 of reviewing every single Superman figure in my collection until the movie comes out on July 11th. Today we're officially halfway through the series and it's also Father's Day, so we're doing a special. This is McFarland's Rebirth Superman. Rebirth was the main introduction of Superman being a dad. This figure was in a 2-pack with Ultraman, which I'll eventually review later in the series. People love to make fun of this head sculpt and yeah, they're right, this head sculpt does suck. The rest of the body is pretty much infected with the Rebirth trunks and the Red Sun Superman cape, which I reviewed yesterday. You can do a head swap with this Fleischer head and this looks much better and much more comic accurate. Or you can use my limited edition custom heads, which I'm actually selling right now if you want. DM me if you want it. He comes with a bunch of alternate hands that you can actually share with Ultraman. I'm not going to say each one of them out loud, but you can see. The articulation is exactly the same as the infected body, so I'm not going to go over all of it. Like I said, he uses the cape from Red Sun and also the body from Infected, so he's a little bit short. This was McFarlane's second attempt at a Rebirth Superman, and it still isn't very good. One day, I hope to make a custom Rebirth Superman because that comic is one of my favorite runs of all time, and this figure just ain't it. Anyway, if I want to see the next 25 days, I'm up and away!